All right, a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and warm welcome to Women in Energy Leadership Summit 2021. I am Geeta Tucker. Whether we are forging our own paths or following in the footsteps of those who have gone ahead, these trailblazers, innovators, explorers, and disruptors can encourage, motivate, and push us to reach new heights in business and in life. So let us put our hands together for all the women leaders and empowerers in the world who have worked outstandingly to bring in a positive change and make a mark for themselves. It is our indeed a great pleasure to bring such leaders at our summit today who have worked towards a cleaner and greener tomorrow. Hats off to the women power in energy sector. So today we are in conversation with the pioneers of the energy sector. Our esteemed panelists will have a discussion on entrepreneurship and leadership roles for women, enlarging women work roles, attracting women talent to energy sector, new women leaders in making. So kindly welcome our eminent speakers. We have Mr. Subramaniam Pulipaka, CEO, National Solar Energy Federation of India, and also our session moderator for today. Ms. Mrinalini Chelapan, Director, Swillet Energy Systems Limited. Ms. Ritu Lal, Senior VP and Head Institutional Relations Amplus Solar. Ms. Ekta Mehra, Senior Sector Specialist, Energy and Finance, KFW. Ms. Mani Khurana, Senior Energy Specialist at World Bank. Ms. Monica Rathi, Vice President, Engineering and Performance, Veena Energy. Ms. Namrata Mukherjee, Head Policy Advocacy, Sterlite Power Transmission Limited. And Dr. Megha Pushpendra, Lead Strategic Communication, International Solar Alliance. Now may I please request Mr. Subramaniam to start the panel.
Thank you very much, Geeta. In fact, I am humbled and honored to this session of all women leaders in solar energy or in energy in India. I had the privilege, I still have the privilege of working with some of them, consulting them regularly on various issues that are affecting Indian industry. But it is indeed a great pleasure to meet them virtually all at once. And without much ado, I'll do the least amount of speaking today, and I'm sure all our attendees want to hear from the eminent women leaders here on what has been their experience and what are the gaps that are existing, that are preventing diversity in the energy sector as it is existing today. All the panelists today are well known to the entire industry. So I don't want to again introduce them specifically. I'll straight forward get into the panel discussion. So to begin with, entrepreneurship is something that has been a very critical aspect, and we have seen an increasing trend of women entrepreneurs, especially in the energy sector, getting involved and starting ventures that are now leading impact at the ground level in India. So I would like to ask Ms. Ritu Lal from Amplus, how important it is to build an enterprise that is empowering, but at the same time inclusive and has equality right from the leadership in its vision or in its execution. You have been at the helm of institutional relation, you have been at the helm of policy advocacy in various roles, not only in energy. So according to you, how can we build an all-inclusive enterprises and ensure more entrepreneurs come in this field?
Good morning. Thank you, First View Media, for having this event, and thank you, Subbu, for those kind words of introduction. And let me say one thing, entrepreneurship, and we call it startup today, right? So in the modern world, every entrepreneur, most of us, we have a very, very small setup, and it's a very American term, right? You're just starting, so you're a startup. And the Amplus journey has been very similar. We were a startup. And while I've not founded the organization, I was, part of the original team that kind of set up this organization and got it into business. Very frankly, when you're a startup, you're so busy trying to, grout yourself somewhere, a route, something, and just stay there, right? Your entire focus is on survival, viability, and will I make it? How long do I take it before I decide we make it or we call it quits? It's a very, very different thought at that time. You're thinking really day to day. You have some sort of a vision. Obviously, things don't always go to plan. And your thoughts at that point are not that of a corporate or frankly of somebody who has even half succeeded. So at that point in time, gender and who's around, and that is really not something that is a discussion point at all. When you're a four-member, 5-member, 10-member team, it's very, very different. And each person brings a certain expertise to the table, which is why they are there, right? And it's only when you start to achieve some sort of success and when you start to also expand the team, that then a lot of these issues related to gender and women and the role and sometimes the flexibility that they need starts to come in. And it's important, extremely important, to start having these discussions and put this gender sensitivity into the DNA of an organization when it is getting formed. So I don't, but the thing is, it's so organic that sometimes you don't realize how it comes through. If you've got women in the team right from the get-go, which is what happened with a company like Amplus, right? I was there right from the beginning. And frankly, it was when I came in, it was a team of 4 men, only one of whom was, married with children. It was 3 at different ages, all of them, the rest of them, all single men, not even staying independently. So they were living with their families. And pretty much the only responsibility they had in life was to look after themselves and their work. I'm not talking of monetary responsibilities, but otherwise. And there was only one person in that team who was married, who had children, and I was married with 2 children at that time. My youngest was 2. And one of the reasons, again, I did not go back to the corporate life was I wanted a bit of a change. I wanted a little bit of flexibility. Plus, this came in and it was really exciting. It was a new sector for me. So my apprehensions also were not about I am a woman and will I fit in, because as a professional, I have never seen myself, I am a woman and that is what it is. But I have always seen myself as a worker with a certain amount of skill and expertise and certain desires to learn, certain ambition to contribute. And that's where it is. And hopefully that is how my employers and other people I have worked with have also seen me. So when I see you, I don't see, okay, this is a man. I see Subbu, somebody who I work with, and somebody who has a certain level of expertise, leadership skills, whatever it is. And he happens to be a man. So even for my little startup of 5, the kind of, I won't call it pressures, but the kind of roles and responsibilities that women bring with them, which is other than work. For a lot of them, it was, clearly something that they had not given much thought to. But because I was there, and it's also easier to be flexible in a startup, right? This got into the Amplus DNA very, very organically and very intrinsically. We didn't really have to work towards it. Obviously, as the organization has grown, we've had to have a more, structured approach towards this. The rest of the ecosystem, and this is not just true for energy, all around, has to embrace similar policies. One of the biggest struggles, and that's what I want to leave it with, and that's something that probably needs more thinking and more discussion around, is startups need money. Right? The first thing is, okay, you have an idea, get a foothold. You can have your, the seed capital that you've got, the friends and family, kind of capital that you've raised. But to scale up, you need some sort of an investment, right? Starting with an angel investment and then perhaps hoping for private equity. At that point in time, and I have witnessed this, unfortunately, it takes a lot more for women entrepreneurs to raise capital. I mean, sometimes it's as simple as the same spiel, the same pitch coming from a man seems to give results. And that is something that has to be addressed. This very, very clear thing about, what women can do. And women can be CEOs of multinationals and setups. But for some reason, there is still this bias about them creating organizations and with people being very, very comfortable to having financial discussions with them.
No, I think one point that you made very clear, and that rightly hits the high note, is that diversity and inclusion should be imbibed in the DNA right from the beginning. And now that we are on the topic of entrepreneurship, we do have another entrepreneur with us, Ms. Mrinalini from Swelect. Swelect, as we know, is one of the leading manufacturers, and especially being in India and being a manufacturer is not an easy task. And Ms. Mrinalini is heading it from the front, or leading it from the front. So I would like to request her views on the same aspect of how entrepreneurship and leadership roles should evolve or should be more streamlined to become more inclusive.
Yeah, hi. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, First View Group, and hi to Subbu and other familiar faces here. Hello, all. So talking about diversity and inclusion and relating it to entrepreneurship and leadership roles. Like Verna Meyer said, diversity is being asked to a party and inclusion is being asked to dance. So what happens right now in many of the organizations is that, in their targets to be diverse, to have more women workforce, a lot of women are being employed. But what is critical and what we need to look into is that, are they being included and are they being, are you helping them to get into the leadership roles? Even though there are, I think more than 40% of the women, workforce is women in India, hardly 8% are in senior management position. And it dwindles down to, I think, 2 or less when you talk about CEOs and CXOs, whatever those roles are. So as an organization, how are you going to, make sure that you're inclusive and you make sure that a lot of women do come up to the, the leadership roles and come out of either their comfort zone or I think their co-workers and organizations' comfort zone? That's a big question. So as an organization, we need to look at our HR policies, review it consistently, and not just quantitatively where you talk about number of women or the pay scale, but qualitatively. Are you giving them access to opportunities? Are you really promoting them into leadership roles? And secondly, at least as an entrepreneur myself, to being second generation, where of course, like Ritu said, I didn't have to go start up from scratch, but being being in the position that I'm in, I've faced a lot of issues. It could be as basic as I would be talking to a vendor or I will be at a project site talking to somebody, talking to one of the contractors or, the owners, and they would never look at me and talk, right? They would always look at my male counterpart or my male colleague who is there and would be, addressing them. Then it would be like, hello, I'm the one that's making the decisions here. So, you better address me and, talk to me. And many of the biases that we have here, you can broadly classify into under two headings. One is external and the other is internal. When we talk about external, is as an organization and as a society, are we promoting women to take up bigger roles, starting with the organization's policy as such. Then secondly, are we as entrepreneurs ourselves or women leaders in the industry or in the company, we need to trust and believe and mentor other women and help them create that confidence in them that they can achieve whatever they want, and whatever the other hurdles that they have, do we have an open door to address them and mentor them. And third is, like Ritu said, flexibility, be it with respect to maternity leaves or be it with respect to taking care of elders, whatever it is. Are we being flexible and helping the people in our organization? And internally, if you see, as women, what are our internal factors? All of us, I think, can easily say many of us have this imposter syndrome, and how to overcome that. That's something that we all need to address and overcome. And as an entrepreneur or as a leader, it's always there when you go talk to, be it in terms, any other, either be it in banks or be it in to vendors or at any of the forums, right? So how do you overcome that? That's a major question. And I think the way it works would be to celebrate your small wins. It's okay. It doesn't matter. It needn't be win as a woman, but it's a win as a person, right? So celebrate that. And the other factors are just ask. Don't be afraid to ask. Be it asking in your organization or be it at home or family, asking for help and asking for what you want. That's been very important, in the journey. Simplest example is when I had my first kid, I was majorly into product development and project management before I had my kid. I was at the site most of the time. But the moment I had my kid, people expected me to just, go back, take a break for a few years, then take a very soft role. Even though I come from a family where, gender bias is like minimal, there's been almost nil gender bias. Even then, it was expected of me to step back and take it a little easy. You have responsibilities. But that was it. Actually, I would say the turning point in my life where I said, no, I'm not going to define myself by, stereotyping or conforming to certain ideals. I definitely want to, do more. And that's when, I stepped up. I asked, this is what I want. This is how I want my career to be. And of course, it was a journey where I had to prove myself that I could achieve that, and it's worked. And another major thing is that own it. Fine, you're a mom, you're a, you are the primary caregiver for your elders. Own it. It's okay. All my colleagues know. Even my, people outside my company know I'm a mom, I'm a kid, I have my timings. And if you hear a kid screaming in the background during a call, it's all right. I'll mute myself. So just own it and be who you are. And all it means is that you're great at multitasking. So I think that would be the, that's been the journey. And that's what I would like to tell when you talk about how to go into the leadership role or how to manage as an entrepreneur and a woman in the field. So as Alice Walker said, the most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. So we all need to think that, step back and see how are we going to harness that, and are we enablers for other women and other entrepreneurs, be it at home, as a support to family, or as a society, or as an organization, or as a government, and setting the right example. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those remarks, and it really takes back to me to my childhood, where my mom, she was a working woman, and we were building our house, and I was giving my exam, and she used to help me ensure the house is also built, supervise it, and then go and teach 16 hours a day and come back. So the very existence of women in leadership roles is to celebrate this fact that they are capable of multitasking, and only they can do it, no one else can do it. And you very rightly mentioned that. But interesting point that you mentioned, which brings me to the next point of discussion, is how the women working roles are being perceived. Is there still a misconception, or we still have a long way to go? I would like to request Ms. Ekta Mehra from KFW to give her perspective on how to build skilled and inclusive workforce, irrespective of the work profile, and how to enlarge the role of women in our current working curriculum.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I would firstly like to thank the First View Group for inviting me in this August company. So, so far the discussion has been around what organizations can do to have a more inclusive workforce. I completely agree with the views shared by Ritu and Mrinalini that there's much which can be done at the organizational level, as in, making it a part of the inclusiveness as a part of the DNA of the organization, or having it as an agenda which is prioritized by the organization, will definitely help and help us getting there faster or more quickly. But I think another way to look at this is also that organizations recruit from a pool of talent, and this pool is not something which is something which is restrictive for the organization, and something which they can draw on. So we need to see how we can at a country level, how this needs to be addressed at a more grassroots level, at a more elementary level, by increasing participation of girls in STEM fields, not just in schools, but going forward in higher education as well. So I think that is one of the key factors wherein, when we increase the pool, or more girls being available in that pool, I'm sure organizations with the inclusiveness as an agenda will be happy to draw on that pool. But there is a problem which they face right now, when you can't really just have percentages that this, all the roles in this department, this much percentage needs to be a gender orientation. That cannot be true when there is not enough such women or girls available to fill that role. Secondly, inclusive skill development needs to be a long-term objective of the country and us as a society. And that is when we talk about inclusive, we normally think of corporate roles. Why should our thinking be just limited to such corporate jobs and roles? When I mention the word electrician, the image which comes to all of our minds is that of a man. So something very interesting which I noticed when we were doing this study on vocational training, and we happened to visit some of the existing vocational training institutes in the country. So what I saw was there were girls being trained alongside boys, and trained to be electricians, and trained to repair appliances and stuff. And what was told was industry in general is moving more towards digitalization and automation, and so it's not manual strength which is needed, but the same skill set, and that can be easily taught to the girls. And that was really interesting as a perspective, because even I am guilty of that same bias which I mentioned. Say the word electrician, and that's the image in all our minds, right? And thirdly, what I would like to say is, yes, we see energy, it is constantly changing and evolving as a sector. So right now we are hearing of hydrogen, say, as another aspect which may move from solar to, say, hydrogen. I may not know anything about hydrogen right now, but if I have the openness and willingness to learn, I think there are ample resources available on the internet. Just I need access to internet. But there are ample resources which are available by which I can learn. So I think the onus to also enhance our roles lies with us, and we should be able to take that responsibility with willingness. And lastly, I would like to say that you can teach, you can provide everything to women or girls in general, but you cannot really teach the willingness to learn. That is something which needs to come from within. And once that is achieved, I think there is no boundaries which limit women.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mehra. It is indeed very true that there are no boundaries once the willingness to adapt is there. In the same context, I would also now like to bring in Ms. Monica Rathi from Vena Energy. She herself has been spearheading EPC business of solar for a long time, and the same bias exists there, and she has been successfully handling that particular aspect. And I would like to hear her insights and opinion on how we have to enlarge the working role for women in the corporate.
Thanks, Subbu. In fact, I would want to start off by wishing everyone a happy Women's Month. I know it was an 8th month, but I think the celebrations have been ongoing. And I also want to thank all the men out there who have supported us in whatever way to be successful. And the reason I say this is sometimes that support has been in form of encouragement and mentorship, but sometimes it has been that questioning and that bias that Subbu just mentioned, which has probably helped us become stronger and bold by the day, right? I'll specifically talk about some of the biases and how both organization and we as women are required to kind of change those. Subbu mentioned that I was actually handling the business development for the EPC business. Typically, same thing that probably Ekta mentioned, right? And Mrinalini mentioned, during my initial conversations, the end decision makers were just not willing to talk to me. They were more comfortable talking to my other colleagues in terms of the numbers, in terms of that, okay, we are talking about so many crores and this is what will help us get there. But then it was that additional effort that as a woman I had to put in, where I started having my numbers literally on my hand. Even before anybody else could calculate it, I had the number and I would just jump it in. Slowly, that thing kind of helped me build up that required confidence within the customers that I'm probably talking to. Second thing, which as a woman we could probably do, if you realize a lot of these roles require travel, right? While we talk about flexibility, I think it is very important for us as women to remember that it's not about balance, it's about prioritization. There would be days where you would have to spend, let's say, 100% of your time at work, and there would be days that you are probably free to spend 100% of your time at home. And how do we balance those priorities, trying to ensure that we are present there, specifically when there are, let's say, negotiations happening, especially when there are important conversations happening. One advice that I have for most women out here, a lot of after office parties, we prefer not going to them, right? Because we would rather be happy being at home rather than spending those additional times at those parties. But it makes a lot of difference. If you are being there, being present in those offline conversation, it helps empower, it helps build those genuine connections, which can go a long way in terms of your own growth, in terms of your own career. And that also gives you an opportunity to let the other people know why it is important for you to get that kind of a flexibility, which you could probably not do it in a formal office setup. So these are some things that I think as a woman we should probably be doing. Now, in terms of what can organizations do, the first most important, I think, these long hours funda has to go to bed. Just because somebody is spending long hours at work doesn't mean that they are probably doing more work. It just means that they're probably spending, and for the lack of better word, they are just spending more time at either sutta breaks or whatever gossips that even men do, right? So it should be smart work, rather than those long hours. So that's something that I think the organizations should encourage. We all talk about flexibility. I think flexibility is something that we have to look at both from an enterprise perspective as well as for women perspective. I've had unfortunately women who have tried to take advantage of it, and we end up forgetting that once or twice if somebody takes advantage, then it becomes a difficult proposition for all the other women out there. So we need to at least protect each other's back, ensure that the flexibility that has been given to us is utilized in a proper manner as we move up the career. Next, it is also going to be very, very important for organizations to have mentors for women who could actually push them. There are many studies which have proven if there are roles, and if men are only maybe I think 30-40% ready, they will probably raise their hand. Women try to at least ensure that they have 70 to 80 or 90% of their skills before they can come up and say that yes, we are willing to do or willing to take up this additional role. In those kind of a scenario, I think a mentor could probably push those women saying that yes, you are there, we would support you and we will take you to those leadership journey. Be like a coach who is willing to take you forward. I think Mrinalini was mentioning about having a bias while you go and get equity or try to pitch the same business case that a man has done versus a woman has done. I think by default, unfortunately, the way we have been grown up, a lot of financial bias has been there. So how do we remove that financial bias, not just for the women who are at leadership role, but also for the women who have been growing up? So organizations should put in additional efforts to ensure that that financial acumen is built into women so that they can take up even higher leadership roles. I'll pause here, but those are some of my thoughts.
Thank you very much for the detailed insights. And going back to the very point that you stressed about mentors, I would now direct this question to two of our leading women energy leaders who work with international bodies in India. First to Dr. Megha Pushpendra, then to Ms. Mani Khurana. Dr. Megha is from International Solar Alliance and Ms. Mani Khurana is from World Bank. And we know what both association, both organizations and both doing the energy sector. We would like to know from them on how we can attract women talent to energy sector and sort of break the so-called existing barriers. First, Dr. Megha Pushpendra.
Thank you, Mr. Pulipaka, and thank you, Mrinalini, for using the words like celebrate, ask, and be unabashedly yourself. And thank you, Monica, for pitching for those after-work parties. We can exchange our numbers and I'm always there. So starting on a lighter note, I joined 5 minutes late, so I don't know if this is highlighted already or not, but allow me to highlight that the energy sector remains one of the least gender diverse sectors. And as women are identified as key drivers of innovative and inclusive solutions, closing this gender gap will be vital for all of us. A clean energy transition will require innovative solutions and business models to be adopted, as my fellow colleagues must have indicated. And I'm sorry if I've missed that. Greater participation from a diverse talent pool is going to lead the way. And this is what this whole discussion is all about. But we all know that there are barriers and there are systemic barriers there. What I have absorbed from my own experience is that there are barriers that our ecosystem inflicts on us. And then there are some barriers that we inflict upon ourselves as a result of the classical conditioning we get since our childhood at a subliminal level. Combination of both is what forms the basis of the first and most difficult to break the barriers, which is perception of gender roles. I truly feel that the very construct of the perception determines the behavior. There is a stereotype that still exists within a large amount of population that women are not technologists by nature, that they are not suitable for building, operating, and maintaining sophisticated technologies. I will not go into the verbiage of the matter, as there is enough and more already written and discussed on various forums. It's floating on various reports. I want to definitely take this opportunity to add and underscore that we need interventions based on behavioral studies. We need to reverse engineer the paradigm. We need to go till the point where we raise the child irrespective of their gender identity with a clear and relatable orientation for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Only then interest for specialized careers, and of course energy being definitely one amongst them, will be created in young professionals. Two subdomains are areas of concern that come to my mind while I speak of this, which is lack of orientation and visualization for career in energy domain. We strategic communication professionals working in the energy sector are also responsible for not having devised and depicted the role models clearly defining role of women in energy sector on mass media. Nearest we have come in STEM is a doctor with white coat, a civil engineer with yellow helmet, a professor scribbling chemical equation on a whiteboard, or a scientist fiddling with test tubes. I have never seen a woman working on configuring alternative energy solution or a woman data visualization expert trying to work on an optimum scheduling curve for solar energy. I'm yet to see it. Energy field has enough and more to offer, but do we have enough information available in public domains to attract talent? I don't think so. I have a son, I mean, my daughter is coming up now, but even for my son, I mean, he's like 17 and applying for universities. I'm yet to type energy innovation in the Google search and try to find out a proper career for him with a proper growth chart. Do we have dedicated groups helping young women professionals take up energy related fields by providing them mentorship and network opportunities? So there is a lot that needs to be achieved. Unequal access to career entry points is also a barrier for that women face. Inequality of opportunities is the most unfair part of inequality, and it can be seen in more than one ways. First of all, it prevents women from making the best use of their skills and their entrepreneurial ideas. And sometimes gender bias, sometimes class, and sometimes ethnicity comes into force and makes it difficult for them to reach their potential. Even if they do get inducted and they do start moving in their professions, they're not allowed the leadership positions. And trust me, I have some experience in struggling from last 10 years at various forums on a state, federal, and international level. And I do see that these barriers do exist in reality. So what is the solution? Perhaps we need to identify key junctures in a woman's career where they can obtain a tertiary degree, upskill themselves, and apply their knowledge to acquire leadership positions. But again, the question comes, is it enough? We need robust HR policies to evaluate this. We need accountability frameworks in tangible forms to be placed at each level so that no woman is diminished. At each such point, we have to make the opportunities available to forklift the argument that we are currently having. With each opportunity, we have to indicate at a predictable income stream with robust contractual terms clearly defined for women so that they can pick up this career and pick it up unabashedly without any fear. Perhaps at one time or the other, each one of us sitting here in this August gathering have encountered these barriers or a combination of them. We have made our ways by shedding conflicting narratives which stood up which stopped us from coming to the forefront. This August forum would agree that it was support and encouragement at enterprise level, which played a big role in breaking the barriers. And we are still in the process. So thank you for your time, and thank you for listening to me. I would conclude here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Megha, for touching a very sensitive point. And in fact, that is actually the need of the hour. And I am compelled to sort of prematurely announce it now that very soon, under the aegis of NSCFI, with all of your support, we would like to launch an initiative which will aim at bridging the gap that is existing in terms of knowledge, in terms of mentorship, in terms of existing support required for women in India. This has been a 1.5 year long concept that we have devised. We are working with Global Women Network for Energy Transition. We are approaching you for the support. So hopefully very soon, after we have it in some form, we will come back to all of you to seek your inputs, insights, and more than anything, your valuable participation to nurture the next generation women leaders in energy. Thank you very much. Now I would like to request Ms. Mani Khurana from World Bank, Senior Energy Specialist. She has been at the helm of all World Bank flagship programs in India, and we talk about many of the interesting initiatives that World Bank has done, and we have seen her everywhere when we hear about these projects. So, Ms. Mani Khurana, from your perspective, how can we attract more women and break the so-called existing barrier?
Thank you so much for those kind words, and a very good morning to all the fellow speakers. It's a privilege to be here. So let me start from the beginning. When you join, and this has been stated, I see that the way we face the similar incidents also hasn't changed. So I had a similar incident the first day I was working, and I did an Excel model and I was sharing my results, and the people I was discussing with from the utilities refused to even acknowledge my presence. So they kept talking to my male counterparts and didn't look at me. And frankly, it hurt a lot. You work towards it, you make up for it. But I think, as Ritu said, when you are trying to yourself settle in a new role and make your, establish yourself, you really don't think about women in general. It's more about making your base. And if I really, to be honest, if I've started speaking in forums like this, it's been for the past 2 years. That, when you've settled, you've established yourself in a certain manner, and then you realize that, where are the rest of the women? Why do I see the same speakers in every forum that I speak in? We are all there. And we can say that it's sad, but it's time to do something about it. So being in the World Bank, what we did this South Asia gender and energy, we started this project where we wanted, through our investments, through the analytical work that we do, that, okay, how do we promote women in energy sector and in STEM education? Because as has been pointed out by the other panelists, you'll only go there if you have the people to choose from. Only if they take that kind of education streams will you be able to lead them into the career path of energy. So basically, what we do best before we start on anything, we do a baseline assessment. And I think one of the speakers also quoted it, that the numbers are really low. We did it for South Asia. And if you really look at it, representation of women in utilities does not exceed 15%. And they are mostly in the lower or the middle level. If you see the senior leadership positions, it doesn't go beyond around the 6%, 3 to 6%. India is a little higher, but so it reaches the 8%, but it's still very low. And then you go down, you dig a little deeper. How many women actually take up STEM education as higher studies? That's around 15% in India. The highest is in Bhutan, which reaches around 30%. So the point is that you don't have a pool of people to choose from. And obviously we all know, and a lot of people have spoken about the work-life balance, the commitments from both sides, and how do you make sure that you handle both professional and personal life properly. A lot. So even if you say these 15% join the career track, most of them will not reach the leadership, because somewhere in the middle, they will go out of the career path. They choose to take a back seat, come back later. I think one thing is great. We've all started realizing it. We've all started talking about it. There are quite a few entities who started doing something about it. Once we did this study, the main things, obviously, and I think it's been touched: mentorship, training opportunities, awareness, just basic things like toilets came out to be a problem. Women need separate toilets. It's as simple as that. And something which is so logical has not been done in quite a few organizations. Why isn't that so? So basically what we did was, after we got the study results, we did a VPAR. This is with ADB, UNDP, World Bank came together and other stakeholders. And this is basically a platform for women in South Asia energy, and to promote STEM education, to promote women partnership. We have around 27 partners, a lot of utilities and institutions from India also partnering. This is a South Asia forum. So as we're saying, if we have to do something about it, where do we start? The first pillar it works on is about STEM education. Create awareness about STEM education, give them role models. Someone mentioned, why don't we have role models? If role models are there, they speak to girls when they're in school, and they, this is what can happen. This is what you can do. It's true, maybe then we were lucky that at least in our households, we were not restricted. We were told, okay, you can do whatever you want to do. Maybe some other girls are not that lucky. So at least at the school level, when you can catch them young, inculcate the right approach to them, give them the awareness once they enter this. Other thing is, how do you give them internships? See, they may hear about it. Make internship. I would actually, reach out to all the fellow people out here that in your organization, if you can give internship opportunities, they'll just get a flavor. It adds value to the organization. It really creates a workforce behavior where they realize what kind of work is in for them. Okay, once you do that, how do you get them on the work program? Again, you have to recruit them, create awareness, give a lot of talk shows. How do you help them with professional development? Mentorship comes in. And in this thing, Tata did a very good thing. They're a partner with us in that. They actually last year ensured that any whoever's in the senior role is a mentor to one of the junior level people. So every person who needs a mentor has one now, especially for women, so that they can talk to someone and mentor. This mentorship program is actually not formal. You can talk about various problems you're facing. So it's how you design it. So that has worked out well. Then after professional development, and when you reach a certain thing, the main thing where we lose people is retention. Because if you don't get to retain them, if you don't provide them the flexible hours we have been talking about, women need childcare at, supposing you do, they need that first 6 months when they, supposing, they have a baby, they'll take the 6 months off, then they'll join back. Mid-track, how do you get them to join back? What's your support system? Frankly, a lot depends. And it was pointed out earlier, we cannot forget the men folk. We cannot forget the people we work with. If your team is supportive, I believe the women can do everything, because you will take that time off, but your team is there to support you to take it forward. So frankly, the struggle to be there has to be together of men and women, and they can really contribute. And the last thing which I wanted to share with you is, obviously, I'm sure quite a few would have read this book on Lean-In. And I really think that book is an eye-opener in quite a few ways, and how what we've spoken about, and Megha, I think, mentioned, some barriers we create ourselves, some barriers are external. And one very interesting case study, which is there in that book, is about Heidi and Howard. So that's my favorite case study. So a class was split into two, and a very successful woman's case study was presented. For half the class, the name of that main person was Heidi. For the other half, it was Howard. And when the students were asked, okay, what are your reactions? What do you think about these people? How is Heidi and how is Howard? Anyone who had heard about Heidi said, oh my God, she's very selfish. I would not like to work with her. She may be successful, but it doesn't suit a woman to be successful. I don't know, how did she do that? Whereas Howard, oh, he was a star. He's likable. I would love to work with him. He's a go-getter. So that behavioral thing that we've been talking about is very important. We need to bridge that gap now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mani Khurana. It was indeed really an eye-opener, and I personally recollect the same case study. I read it a little while ago, very recently, but it is really interesting how the very root of the entire problem is in the behavior of the current society paradigm. Now moving on to an aspect that was briefly touched by some of our panelists on the driving force behind the rising stars and the new women leaders in making. I would like to invite Ms. Namrata Mukherjee from Sterlite Power to share her insights and her valuable opinion with our fellow panelists.
Thank you, Subbu. And like everyone says, right? It's so nice to go in the end, because it's like, everybody's just put, all the issues that you face and what I want to speak so beautifully in their own, ways. But it's really a pleasure and a great honor to be in the midst of such accomplished leaders. So thank you, to the organizers. The motivation why I picked up, this whole thing about rising stars is because the mix of, the leaders that we see here on this panel who are from diverse energy backgrounds. And for me, because I've worked in the power sector for the last 17 years now, and I really feel this is the transformation that we are seeing, right? There've been leaders, okay, they've come and gone, but you don't see so many women, there together talking and, guiding other, rising stars to really come up over there. So I think we are at a cusp, the transformation is just beginning to happen, and it's only going to happen multifold now. I'm going to keep this, talk very personal and sort of bring in my, professional experience also, so that in whichever way I feel I can, help whoever is on the call or, and sort of just share my experience over there. For me, so, power sector, right? Power sector is always associated with the other gender. Okay, and I also felt that where did I line myself into? Not an engineer, from an economics background. So it was crazy, my father kept asking me, are you sure? Are you sure this is the sector you have to be, in? But I think it's been a beautiful journey. And somewhere, like everybody's told, your mentors, they all have to be a mix of people who take you through this journey. And never have I questioned myself, am I in the right space or not in the right space? There have been difficulties, there have been challenges, right? So when I started my journey, like others have said, like Mani said, right? When I went to the States, when I was talking to utilities, regulatory commissions at a very early time, right? People would look at you, first of all, you're young, you're of the other gender, you're in the power sector, was possibly everything to go against you, right? But you keep at it, still go, keep going, right? Because you know that what you're doing is both ways, right? It's satisfying, it's something which will make a difference. So you don't leave, you just keep going at it, right? So, and that's where the journey just went on, right? I think for me, for today's, talk, I have three things that I want to talk about, and they're all around the eyes. And because that's, we have to somewhere talk about ourselves, right? And I think as women, we're always shy over there, and we should not, right? First, I think everybody has spoken about it and touched upon it, but it's still important to really put it out, is inclusion, right? I really feel diversity is a very hyped terminology, and we should really not talk about diversity so much. Sometimes it goes against, women, at least from a gender perspective. We should really encourage organizations to really, make them a very, very inclusive environment. And we as women should keep asking ourselves, am I empowered? Is this place allowing me to take the decisions that I should, right? And keep pausing ourselves and just keep questioning the status quo, right? Then that, you're in a right space, in a right spot. And, so I think that's a very, very critical part of the, eye that we should keep focusing and keep our eyes on. The second most important, lesson and the tip that I would like to give is on integration, right? And there are two folds to integration. One is really, again, work-life balance, which is an overhyped terminology. I don't think, it's about balance. It's, somebody said priorities, right? Picking up priorities. I feel it is how best you can integrate your work with your life, okay? And that really is a very, customized tool which is available to each one of us, right? Because we have our own life situations that we go through. And the reason why we are in a profession is because we want to do it. So it's not about balancing, but it's really integrating what you're, the way you're working with the life space that you have. And rather than blaming a work environment, etc., it is about us really putting our foot down that this is my hours. I can't do more than that. Yeah, it will possibly disadvantage you to some extent, but in the long run, it'll only help you and everyone else around you, right? So I think it's important for us to start taking decisions and just integrating this in a much better way. That's one. And in the integration space, the other aspect is really the work that you do, and the core purpose around which you're working should be very closely aligned to your own life's core purpose, right? Because if you don't have that alignment, it's ultimately about fun, right? It's about enjoying what you do. And I think that becomes very important for us to integrate and know that where I am in a workspace should be very closely aligned to what I want to do, from a personal and a professional standpoint. I think that integration really sort of helps. And then finally, the other eye is everybody's touched upon, mentorship and how you should guide other rising stars. What I have seen and what I have noticed is it's also about sponsorship. It's important for you to identify, because I'm in a sector like power transmission. So imagine nobody will look at a talent, which is of a different gender in a power transmission sector. But it's important for you to identify who can be your sponsors, okay? And who are those people who are seeing your capability and your potential from a work standpoint, right? Because it's ultimately about your growth. And so if you have those sponsors who have a say on the table, if you are yourself a sponsor, then nothing like it. Please take up the case of young rising stars, right? And put in a very strong goal for the next jump, because I've been in these talent discussions, and there's always, the two people who you have to take a call on. Okay, it'll be a man and then it'll be a woman, and there are all kinds of mental biases, judgments which come in that group of leaders who are talking as to who should be promoted to the next level, right? So I think in that spot, if you have a very strong sponsor who has seen your work, noticed your potential, who can really put in a very strong say over there, that is where we should really, really keep our eyes and ears open as we move up, right, in our professional space. So that's what I had to say. And finally, of course, let's try not to be perfectionist. We all are. That's in our DNA, right? But I think if we can be authentic and really showcase what we are as a professional, as an individual, and really put forth our point, I've seen it matters, right? People may think it's difficult, but in my own journey, I've seen that it really matters. So let's be authentic. Try wherever possible not to just be a perfectionist. It will only affect ourselves, both mentally and physically, which is really not worth it. So that's where I'll just pause. Thanks.
Thank you very much. All your three eyes are, I think, a very good summation of the entire discussion so far. And especially, I take pride in myself saying that at NSCFI, we have more women working than men. And every decision I take is the decision that they ask me to take. And I'm the only guy with less number of years in the NSCFI compared to others who are there. So I prefer their wisdom than mine, and that is the only reason for our success. And I hope that model gets emulated or reciprocated elsewhere. But having said that, this has been an honor of my life. I have moderated hundreds of panel discussions in thousands of speakers, but I never had an opportunity to moderate such stellar panel with the actual rising stars of Indian energy industry. And I hope many more women, many more young girls come to energy sector and sort of get energy sector a mainstream for upcoming generation. I would like to hand it over back to Geeta to continue with the award session. Geeta, over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much, all the panelists, for your very, very enlightening views and insights. It was indeed a pleasure to have you all and learn so much from your experiences. A special thanks to Mr. Subramaniam for a very, very wonderful moderation. So, dear audience, don't go anywhere. Just grab your cup of coffee and sit back. Kyunki picture abhi baki hai mere dost. The red carpet is set for our gala celebration of Women in Energy Leadership Summit 2021 Awards. So let's get started.
Thank you, Geeta. Let me start with a quote over here. We do not need magic to transform our world. We carry all the power we need within ourselves already. We have the power to imagine better and rule the world. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to unveil such women empowerers who have come out strong and ruling the energy sector. I'm Sangeeta, and I welcome you all to Women in Leadership Summit 2021 Award Ceremony.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Geeta. Let's get the stage rolling for the awards. So before we start, there is a great saying that after every successful man is a woman. So all the proud gentlemen here, please type in the chat box and tell us who is your pillar of strength or the female behind your success. Now we all are going to wait for all the gentlemen to please pull in, start writing in your inspirational and your pillar of strength in the chat box. Well, till the time you do that, let's get started now. We are moving to our first category for the afternoon. Team, can we have the first slide, please? All right, so the first category is Woman CEO of the Year. Let's know something about this leader. She is a leader with 12 plus years of experience, having worked in project management, head of PV module division, support on finance and strategy, and is currently handling the expansion of module factory. So let us know who this award goes to. Well, the award goes to Ms. Mrinalini Chelappan, Director, Swillet Energy Systems Limited. Can we have you on the stage, please?
Yeah, hello, Geeta. Hi. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes,
can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so thank you, First View Group, for this prestigious award. Really honored to be selected as the Women CEO of the Year. All I want to say here is that we are on a path where, there are already so many women that are, coming up and are part of the leadership roles and downstream as well. What I do hope and wish to happen in the future is that there's no longer a requirement to have, women CEO titles or, Shiro's kind of titles. I hope that we all move towards a world where, we do not celebrate women, we just equalize them. And, when you talk about CEO or about any of the awards, it's just equal. It's both men and women have an equal platform to compete in. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. And before you go, like very, very well put, that we have to work towards equality and there should not be any discrimination of men and women CEO. Now, talking about CEO of the Year, now that's a big award. So I wanted to know, how do you balance your work life and personal life so efficiently? And you're a strong leader out there. How do you manage to do that?
So this, I think we've been having the same topic also on panel discussion and on the chat. So to be honest, there's no such thing as a work-life balance. If you're going to be looking at it as a whole, it's never going to happen. What we should be doing is prioritize on the smaller tasks. So it goes on a day-to-day basis. How do you prioritize? And on one day you will be prioritizing your work, on the other day maybe you'll be concentrating more on your family, and you just have to push on. And another major factor for work-life balance is, of course, definitely having the support, the family support, and the organizational support. And finally, what I would like to say here is that for the work-life balance to happen, just ask for what you want, ask for the support, and do smart work. You do hard work, yes, but smart work and efficient work matters. Thank you.
Couldn't agree with you more on that. That's perfectly put. Thank you so much, and very, very heartiest congratulations on the great win.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So let's move on to our next category. Can we have the slide, please? So the next category is Inspirational Leader of the Year International. Let me tell you something about the leader. She has 10 plus years of experience in solar industry. She has been handling the sales, product, and marketing in all three segments globally for the company. And the award goes to Ms. Helena Lee, VP Global Sales and Marketing, Trina Solar Energy Development Private Limited. Could we have a representative from Trina? Do we have any representative from Trina or Miss Helena to take the award, please? Okay, I think she's not been able to make it, must be having a prior appointment somewhere. And never mind, let's move on to our next category now. Over to you, Sangeeta.
Let's move on to our next category, Inspirational Leader of the Year, India. Let me tell you something about this leader. She's a chemical engineer from IIT Roorkee and an MBA from IIM Ahmedabad, having work experience spanning 17 years in the area of equities and corporate finance. She has been ranked amongst the top India analytics by Asia Money, and the award goes to Ms. Shilpa Gupta, Head Strategy and Corporate Planning, Suzlon Energy Limited. Can we have Ms. Gupta on screen, please? I believe Ms. Gupta is unable due to her prayer commitments. No worries, we will move on to the next category. Our next category is Disruptor of the Year. Let me tell you something about this leader. Our leader comes with 15 years of experience. She leads operations for India as well as global sales. Even during pandemic, her leadership qualities booked close to 10 major deals globally worth $5 million. A true disruptor, I must say. And the award goes to Ms. Priti Singh, who is the Managing Director from Velocity Technologies India Private Limited. Over to you, ma'am. Can we have you on the screen?
Hi, thank you, Sangeeta, and thank you, First View Media Group. I hope I'm audible and visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for the award and the recognition. I'm truly delighted and very thankful to the panelists and the judges who chose me as the Business Disruptor of the Year. And as I have been listening to all the panelists over the equality, gender equality, work-life balances, and I must say, every woman has gone through all these stages throughout their career, the inequality thing, the work-life balance thing, because once you're married, having kids put you into two boats where you have to choose, like, which is your prioritized boat, and you have to balance both the boats. And of course, the support is always needed from your organization, from your family, from your little ones, so that you succeed in your career. But I would urge all the women here that never leave your dreams behind. If you are determined to be successful, you'll get all the supports from everyone. So that's my say here. And thank you so much once again.
I absolutely agree with you, ma'am. But before you leave, there's one question for you. Yep. Winning the title of a business disruptor, what do you think are the traits of women leadership possess?
Okay, so my background is from engineering, and then later in the career, I chose to be in sales in energy sector, where women are often went unheard. Your customers, male customers, they won't listen to you because they think, okay, you don't have any credibility and there's no point listening to you. They would rather, would like to speak to even your juniors who are male. So that was actually a challenge, making your mark in the industry and then making the mark of the company in the industry. So yes, it took me a lot of effort, but since, as I said, if you're determined and if you know your domain well, then no one can stop you. And I'm very delighted to get this award, to be very honest. Yeah.
Absolutely agree with you, ma'am. Heartiest congratulations to you. Over to you, Geeta.
Okay, let's now move on to our next category. So our next category is Engineering Leader of the Year. Now let's know something about this engineering leader. She comes with 15 years of experience and has helped the company become #1 in the APAC market. She is presently leading a great team, handling the project size of over 9 gigawatts. And the award goes to well, the award goes to Ms. Chris Liu, Director Technical, APAC Longi Solar. Do we have a representative from Longi to take the award, please? No problem. Let's now move on to our next category. The next category is Business Development Leader of the Year, Power Transmission. Something about this leader. She has several years of experience across policy and regulatory affairs in the power sector, commercial and market-related aspects of power generation, transmission and distribution, renewable energy, including solar, wind, small hydro, and biomass technologies. She is into energy efficiency and climate change. Now, wow, that was awesome bio, I must say. So let's see who the winner is. Well, the award goes to Ms. Namrata Mukherjee, Senior Vice President and Head of Policy Advocacy, Sterlite Power Transmission Limited. Unfortunately, Ms. Namrata is not available to receive the award, but we have Ms. Kamaljit with us on her behalf. Ms. Kamaljit, can we please have you on the screen, please?
Geeta, am I audible?
Yes, yes, of course you are.
It says you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it. Can you just allow?
Let me just get that corrected. Team, can we see that, please? Yes, we can see you. We can see you, ma'am.
Hi. Thank you, Geeta.
Ma'am, your audio is not very clear. Can you please recheck that?
Hi, thanks, Geeta. I think we all know Namrata. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
All right. So I think Namrata just spoke, and for Sterlite Power, it's a great honor that Namrata has been awarded for the Business Development Leader of the Power Transmission Award. And there are a few lines. I think Namrata sent it to me just in case she wins the award. So I'll just read it out for the group. She says it's a great honor to receive this award. And firstly, I would like to thank the MD of Sterlite Power, Pratik Agarwal, and the management team to take this opportunity for believing in me and providing me the wings to fly and achieve organizational objectives. I would also like to thank the family to being the banyan tree for my support and taking through the storms in my life. And of course, they thank the entire team of First View Group for elevating the spirits. Thank you once again. And on behalf of Namrata, Kamaljit accepting the award. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kamaljit. That was a very, very heartfelt thank you speech, I must say. And thank you so much, Ms. Namrata, and heartiest congratulations.
Let's move on to our next category now. Business Development Leader of the Year, Construction. Let's know something about this leader. a leader with 17 years of experience. She has been go-getter managing projects from the beginning to the end, ensuring customer satisfaction. She focuses on marketing for companies, increasing brand awareness, establishing a strong online presence using engaging marketing materials to broaden the company's audience. And the award goes to Ms. Alisa Dingyani, who is the Director of Business Development from Stronghold Engineering Limited. The screen is all yours, Ms. Alisa.
Thank you so much for this award. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I just wanted to say thank you to Beverly Bailey, who is the CEO and president of Stronghold, who nominated me for this award. I appreciate all of the years of service that I've had at Stronghold and the growth that I've been able to achieve through my time growing from the company for the past 7 years full time, from a very starting position all the way through the company, different project management roles, and then now as the Director of Business Development and Special Projects at the company, where I manage the marketing department, our proposal writer, as well as the IT department of our 200 employees. Thank you again for this wonderful opportunity.
Well, Ms. Alisa, before you leave, I have one question for you. I have a very interesting profile that you have. I read about your passion for music. Please tell us something about your DJ passion, please.
That's so wonderful that you found that. Yes, I have a big passion for music. I used to DJ on the radio station at my college, Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles. And I've DJ'd at different locations in Los Angeles and Riverside, California. And I just really like to DJ for my friends and family, but it's definitely a passion of mine.
That's interesting. Happiest congratulations, Ms. Alisa. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's move on to our next category now. Business Development Leader of the Year, EPC Rooftop. Let's know something about this leader. She has 15 plus years of experience and has grown the company business, closing to 12 rooftop projects per year. She represents the company at numerous conferences and summits. And the award goes to Ms. Meher Sidwa, who is the Head Business Development and PR from Cork Solar. The screen is all yours, ma'am.
Thank you, Sangeeta, and thank you, First View Group. It's been an honor to receive this award, and I definitely want to thank my organization that has a very supportive team and has made this possible. I definitely want to also thank my family and my 7-year-old daughter who tolerates me when I'm working from home during this pandemic, because we've actually achieved maximum sales during the pandemic year of 2020. So it's been great because I got the opportunity to work, achieve the targets, and also spend time with my family. And I would definitely want to thank some of the mentors and leaders who actually kick-started my career earlier in 2006. And I would say I'm very fortunate to have started my career with one of my mentors, Robert, who is not Indian, and therefore probably he didn't have the cultural barrier of expecting women to do anything different from men, and he always treated all of us equally and had. I remember him telling me after I started working with him that why don't you go to Dorala and familiarize yourself with the project. And my first question to him was, where is that? So I was really fortunate to get a lot of on-ground experience. Dorala, obviously, most people would know it's in UP, and I had a great experience learning a lot of on-ground work through mentors like these. And this similar experience to one of the speakers who spoke previously. Yes, I was at a site at Raipur, and I remember I was told that there are no washrooms here. So if you need to use a washroom, you need to go back to your hotel. So the speaker from World Bank really addressed a very important point here, and I think that's something where women can where we can expect a lot of change, and things are changing from 2006 to now. We see a lot more women applying for engineering roles, doing on-site work. So that's really great, and we look forward to this evolution. Thank you.
Your interesting experiences, ma'am. Heartiest congratulations to you. But before you leave the screen, here's one question for you. Business development is quite a tasking field. So if not business development, what would have been your forte?
So I actually started off with a project development role, and gradually, because people felt that I was able to break the ice and handle, I was able to communicate with customers, and I could use my project development or my technical engineering background to business development, which was helping. I gradually migrated to that. So probably, yeah, to answer your question, if it wasn't business development, I would have been in the project development or on other energy development technical side of the business.
Good to hear, ma'am. Heartiest congratulations once again to you.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to our next category of awards. The next category is can we have the slide, please? The next category is HR Leader of the Year Strategy. Let me give some clue about the winning leader. She has a total of 18 years of diverse experience in the field of human resources, with expertise in the areas of leadership hiring and succession planning, talent management, change management, organization development, HR business partnering, digital HR, and managing large-scale interventions. A great leader indeed, and the award goes to well, the award goes to Ms. Kamaljeet Kaur, Head HR Global Infrastructure, Sterlite Power Transmission Limited. Can we have you on the screen, please?
Thanks. Thank you once again. I think this is a great honor, and I'm extremely happy to receive this award. First of all, I really like to thank Pratik Agarwal, our MD, who has the belief in me for taking ahead of people's strategies at Sterlite Power, and this award is a testimony of that. I would also like to thank the youth group team who thought me worthy to take this award. I just want to say that it's been 18 years and it's been really heart-rending to see all the women sharing a lot of their experiences and applauding for each other. I think we should continue to do that. Life hasn't been easy, but at the same time, I would just say one thing to all the women here, that I've always believed in myself, and believing in oneself is the motto I followed. And breaking all the stereotypes, glass ceiling, and here I am. At Starlight Power, I think being the part of the HR team and leading some of the key strategic initiatives, we ensure that we're giving an enabling environment, an equal environment company, being in the energy sector. So for us, it's the talent which counts, and we really give a lot of focus on inclusion. Looking forward for many such summits where as women we could have opportunities to talk about and how we could actually make impact in the energy sector. I've been the women leader I think I've never felt uncomfortable in this environment, and that's the enabling environment I think we should aspire to a lot of our rising young leaders and women working in the industry. So thank you once again. Thank you, and of course the family who's been the real support behind this award. Thanks a ton, Geeta.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kamaljeet. Now, you said, I really like that attitude, breaking the glass ceiling. That was a good one. Okay, I just wanted to understand one thing. Now, women have come a long way in making the places in the corporates all over the world. Why not? Why just India? It's all over the world. Now, being an HR leader, what shift in the places have you seen?
The very shift is in the energy sector. Who would have thought of, an infrastructure sector having a lot of women? And these are just testimony, me, Namrata, we have our IT, we have our marketing, we have many leaders who are actually women leaders taking a lot of leadership position. If I really talk about the shift, I remember, Geeta, and there is a shift. Almost 19 years back, I joined a company which was an auto manufacturing company, and I was the one who opted for a plant role. And I was the second woman, the first woman being 1 year senior to me from the campus, and we were only 2 girls in the company. In that company, that company is now holding motor vehicles, motorcycles. That's the kind of shift we have seen all across. We have seen women taking a lot of positions in FMCGs, marketing, etc. That's been consistent. But I think the shift really that I've seen is the manufacturing sector, the infrastructure space, and many such planes. Why not? I don't know whether you guys read, there was an all-women team that had their first flight from Bangalore to US, which was the longest flight, and it was an all-women flight. So these are the shifts we are seeing, and I really don't feel that women or men. We're talking about women here, but I really see that and I loved a statement which my husband made to my son, that he's a 10-year-old and he was not able to do some math sum, and he said, the brain which you got and we've got is almost the same, is how much we use and what support you're getting. So I think it's about believing in yourself. It's the mindset, and I would urge the women here, we are daughters, we are mothers, we are mentors. I think we should continue to provide that support system, enabling environment that will make many, many leaders ahead. I think this is what we owe to the society and to our men folks as well. So this is where I see, Geeta, a lot of shift happening. We see shifts in aviation, infrastructure all across. I think we will be reaching a place where many of women I heard in the panels talking about equality. I think we are equal. We just need to position ourselves better.
Absolutely agree with you on all the points you have made. Great experience out there, and thank you for sharing that with us. And heartiest congratulations.
Thanks, team, once again. Thank you.
All right, let's move on to our next category of awards, and the category is HR Leader of the Year Advisory. Let us know of something about this leader. She has 11 plus years of experience. She has been involved in integration and realignment of the organization and its subsidiaries to better position, have implemented new pay structure and performance management systems to have effective results for the company. So let us know who the award goes to. Well, the award goes to Ms. Preetha Balan, Advisor, Swillet Energy System Limited. Can we have Ms. Preetha on the screen, please? Do we have Ms. Preetha? If Ms. Preetha is not available, can we have somebody else from Swillet team?
Yeah, hi, Geeta Mrinalini here. So yeah, Preetha is a bit tied up today, and she couldn't make it for the event.
Sure.
So on behalf of Preetha, we thank First View Group to have given this award. And just a couple of words about Preetha. She's a very dynamic HR leader, and she not only does on the HR front, she's also in charge of process automation. So talking about multitasking, she has done a wonderful job in Swelect, and she's been quite critical in integrating the workforce from various subsidiaries into Swelect. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Mrinalini there, and heartiest congratulations to Ms. Preetha for the great achievement. Thank you. Okay, so before we move to our next category, Sangeeta, I am very inquisitive to know something. Okay, I've always wondered why pink is for girls and blue is for boys. Just kept on wondering, and I'm sure there are a lot of people with me who would agree to this and wonder why this is happening. So, well, I've always wondered. Do you know why?
You see, Geeta, originally pink was associated for boys and was thought to be a stronger color, and red was associated with males. But blue was associated with Virgin Mary, and therefore considered to be soft and feminine. But in 1940s onwards, pink was pushed as a woman's color and blue for males.
Oh my God, that was a 360-degree turn. Well, honestly, I think we are pretty happy with pink. What do you say?
Well, no complaints there. All right, let's continue with our awards now. Our next category is Corporate Communications Leader for the Year. About the leader. He's a strong leader. About the leader, she's a strong leader who works with governments to improve energy access and security around the world and promote solar power as a sustainable way to transition to a carbon neutral future. She's working on a mission to unlock US $1 trillion of investment in solar by 2030 while reducing the cost of technology and its financing. Kudos to our solar leader. And the award goes to Dr. Megha Pushpendra, who is the lead strategic communication from International Solar Alliance. Ma'am, can we please have you on the screen?
My video is on. I hope you can see me.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And thank you, First View, for conferring this award on me. I am a doctorate in chemistry, and choosing a profession in strategic communication was not less than brevity at the core of my being. It was very difficult for me. I thank all those who challenged me it fueled me. So thank you very much for all those one-liners and all those comments that I could get in the boardroom. Thank you very much. You made me achieve this today. It all goes to you.
Yes, congratulations, ma'am. But before you leave, I have one more question for you. With all the responsibilities at work front and personal front, what is that one passion which always has found its time in your schedule?
Well, I paint. So I have already painted 70 canvases. I paint charcoal, I paint with acrylics, with oil. I sing, I read. I do a lot of playing with my kids. So there's a lot that I do. And the balancing part is done by the rest who are around me. I don't balance anything. I'm a very imbalanced person. And I take pride in that.
Well, ma'am, great to hear that. You're a multi-talented woman. Heartiest congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Let's move on to our next category now. Admin and Facility Year Leader of the Year. Let me tell you something about the leader. Our leader has 18 years of experience. She leverages the digital workspace to create intuitive and intelligent experiences that help her company evolve into future of the work seamlessly. She believes the power of technology can reduce waste and pave the way for greener tomorrow. And the award goes to Ms. Pooja Arora, who is the admin and IT head from SB Energy Private Limited. The screen is all yours, Ms. Pooja. You'll have to unmute yourself.
Hi, thank you, Sangeeta. Thank you so much. It's a lovely morning. And it's lovely to be here with the group of women who are passionate and excel in what they do. And I totally resonate with what Ritu, Mrinalini, Dr. Megha said. Energy sector is not very friendly for women, and it really, really demands, basic changes at all levels. But I think we're all determined to make it work. Thank you so much for the recognition today. It means a lot. It's been an odd year for all of us, but I think we continue to push and party hard. I'd like to thank my senior management and especially my team at work. It's been one of the best Saturdays I've had, Saturday mornings I've had here, especially with my 15-year-old son cheering me in the background. So thank you so much for that.
Well, heartiest congratulations, Ms. Pooja. But before you leave, I have one question for you.
Sure.
If you can recall, tell us what was the most difficult task that you had faced during the journey to the top?
Okay, very interesting question and very tough to pinpoint one. And I wouldn't say it's been only difficult, it's been also a beautiful journey to make it here. But there have been a few challenges in the past, especially when we work to set up our facilities and IT structure in the most deserted parts of the country. And with all the ladies here from the solar business would know that solar plants are not set up in the most comfortable sectors of comfortable spaces of India. We mostly use the wastelands, and I've had the challenge making the mark, especially in the most deserted locations, making sure that things are seamless and a decision by a woman is respected. Especially in the villages, when you go, people will ask you, "Madam, aap lengi kya decision?" And they will not look at eye to eye to you. So they will question your power, they will question your thoughts, they will question your those. But I thank my colleagues for it. They really supported, and we really made a difference to that. And today we successfully have about 9 sites for running in a very deserted part of the country. Yeah.
Absolutely agree with you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Heartiest congratulations once again.
Thanks.
Well, let's move to our next category of awards. And the next category is Construction Leader of the Year. Let us know about the Construction Leader of the Year. leader is practically a legend with over 34 years of experience. She looks at outstanding performance to easily look for relevant strategic markets where she can utilize the company's outstanding performance to easily maneuver into profitable opportunities. And the award goes to Well, the award goes to Ms. Beverly Bailey, CEO, President, Stronghold Engineering, Inc. Could we have Ms. Bailey on the screen, please?
Hello, can you hear me? This is
Yes,
Beverly.
we can hear you.
I'm sorry, my camera, for some reason, won't allow for me to be on the screen, which is...
Team, can we please check this?
I've tried to do that, but I can go ahead and accept this very prestigious award. I thank you for it. I'm calling in from California. And so for us, it's Friday evening at about 11 o'clock at night. And so a little bit of difference in timing here, but it was very important to be on this a call and accept this award. Thank you for giving it. But for me, especially, is knowing that 2 other strong leaders and women in our company are accepting awards as well. And being in this industry for over 30 years, it's been a road that not very many women have been on. And just to be a company leader and then to see where it's come to, and then to have other women that are just engaged and growing in our company is a wonderful thing to be part of. So I applaud all of you women. I've really enjoyed hearing everyone's testimonies and stories, and it's been encouraging, inspiring, and I just thank you and encourage everybody to continue to do what you're doing to make a good change in this world.
Well, a big round of applause for our visionary and your experiences. Great. I just wanted to ask you a small question. Now, Construction Leader of the Year is a great achievement, especially since it is a male-dominating field. Now, what advice would you share with young women entering this male-dominated profession?
Well, I want to encourage women that you can have it all. You know, I'm an example of that, where you can have a career in an industry, which I really enjoy. There is so many fascinating facets of the construction industry. I think that as you go into it, whatever it is that you set out to do, that you should have a love for the career that you choose. And then when you do, it just naturally shows in your work. And so I just feel like young women, if you enjoy this industry and there's a lot of opportunities and energy, that you should go for it, and let's all make a difference together.
Well, there's a lot to learn from you, ma'am. Heartiest congratulations to you on the great achievement. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to our next category of awards. The next category is Marketing Leader of the Year. So let us know something about this leader. As a part of the company's leadership team, she has extensive experience on scaling businesses in the solar industry, with leading the execution of market positioning strategy through the company's transformation into an industry leader. As an industry veteran, she has first-hand exposure to the turbulent nature of the solar industry and has directed the company in navigating through rapid industry changes. What a leader, I must say. So let's see who the award goes to. Well, the award goes to Ms. Danny Quinn, Global Vice President, Jinko Solar. Could we have Ms. Danny on the screen, please? Or do we have a representative from Jinko to accept the award on her behalf? Okay, I think we do not have any representative from Jinko, but heartiest congratulations to Ms. Denny on the great win. So let's move on to our next category of awards. Well, the next category is Corporate Strategy Leader of the Year. Something about the leader, as we always say. She is in charge of the company's marketing strategy and planning for global markets. She was one of the pioneering engineers in the R&D of photovoltaics of China. Under her leadership, the company has been established as one of the world's leading inverter brands, and its PV solutions are popular in over 100 countries. So let us see who the award goes to. And the award goes to Ms. Lisa Zhang, Marketing Director, Shenzhen Grohuat New Energy Company Limited. Could we have Ms. Lisa on the screen, please?
Thank you, Gita. Hello, everyone. I'm Lisa Zhang, Marketing Director at Grohuat. I'm in charge of Grohuat's marketing strategy and planning of a global market. Today, I'm very pleased and honored to be awarded Corporate Strategy Leader of the Year. Women in renewables have been contributing to the development of clean energy over the years. With a decade of experience in the sector, I've seen many women join the industry as R&D engineers, sales engineers, field engineers, and then working their way up to become project managers and sales managers. And this happens at Grohuat. And I'm proud of my company being supportive of women, providing professional development opportunities for women and building a platform where women can realize their full potential. I myself joined Grohuat 10 years ago, and I'm able to use my knowledge to build a strong marketing team and help the company expand business globally. Today, Grohuat has become one of the global top 10 inverter suppliers, according to the reports by ISH Market and Wood Mackenzie. I'm very happy to share my achievement today. And to conclude, I think women have a lot of advantages and powers. And once empowered, we can make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lisa. Before you leave, just wanted to understand one thing now that you achieved this award and you're in such a leadership position. So what has been the major contributor in your life towards achieving the success? So who's your pillar of strength?
Because I love PV industry, and I also work in Grohuat for 10 years history. So I love my company, my career. So that's the attractiveness, I think.
Thank you so much. That was very, very well put there. And congratulations once again on this great win. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gita. Thank you.
Let's move on to our next category now. Corporate Strategy Manager of the Year. Let's know something about this leader. She is a strategy and management consulting professional, helping executive management solve problems aimed at profitable growth. With cross-functional experience in strategy planning, predictive data analysis, financial modeling, product management, and cloud solutions delivery. And the award goes to Sonam Patnaik, who is a global strategy and corporate development from Sarthak Naik. Congratulations, Ms. Sonam. The screen is all yours.
Thank you, Sangeeta, for honoring me with this award, and thank you, First View, for recognizing me on this great platform. I've had a great time speaking, listening to some of these amazing panelists over here. Could definitely relate to most of the experiences that were shared today. Personally, I believe in three things. As a woman, being in a male-dominated energy sector, when you're trying to make your presence felt, whether it's in a round table or working in a diverse environment. I've been through working within North America now. I've worked in the Middle East, and of course I grew up in India, so I've had experiences in different parts of the world. And one of the big things that I've realized while working with different kinds of people is always having, not shying away from expressing your ambitions and having belief in yourself. Bringing your confidence to work is very important, alongside performing as well, to be taken seriously at work. And one of the topics that many of us touched upon is the balance between work and life. Something which we do not hear so much is to have a support system, not just at home, but also at work. To be able to reach out to mentors at work, to be able to relate to their career journeys, about how different or how similar are things for people who are in sort of a similar journey as us, while we are growing or continuing to grow in our journeys. And at the same time, seeking out support from men and women at home. So especially for this award, I'm in a unique position because I was nominated by my husband, Sarthak Naik, who's currently working as a business development manager at Havels India. And having this strong men at home, and alongside my husband, my father, and my mother as well, and my younger brother, have always supported me and always allowed me to discuss my ambitions and be able to take them seriously. I think I believe in this. It takes a village to raise a child, and I'm completely a product of all my experiences and every relationship that I've had in my life.
I absolutely agree with you, ma'am. But before you leave the screen, I have one question for you. What has been driving force and your inspiration to reach this position? Say your pillar of strength?
Sure. So I've been somebody who's always been passionate about learning, and especially a role like in strategy, one needs to be always very open to learning about new market trends that are impacting the commercial growth of the organization or the innovation track of an organization. So that was probably for sure before I decided about taking on this role. But early on in my life, I realized that I was somebody who was very interested in problem solving and talking to people. Having that consultative sort of a mindset sort of made me decide somewhere at my point of my career is that I would love to not just be able to implement decisions, but also be able to understand what does it take to be behind those big decisions of maybe entering a new market or going head to head against a new competitor, acquiring a new company to be cost competitive or to be able to grow. So some of these challenging careers have always sort of somehow been interesting for me. And like I mentioned, I've always had a great support system around me, which never ignored or denied my ambitions. And I'm thankful to all of them. At the same time, thankful to everybody else who sort of probably had a question mark on my ambitions as well. That probably made me more bold and more stronger to rethink and then sort of course correct and still be able to show up as a leader. And I'm so happy that you all could look at my merit and allow me to be a part of this esteemed list of awardees over here.
Glad to know that, ma'am. I absolutely agree with you. It's very important to have a great support system. Heartiest congratulations to you once again.
Sangeeta, I'll just like to add one thing. I think Sonam was nominated by her husband. So somebody has really got a great Women's Day gift, I must say, you know.
Oh, that's
amazing.
lovely.
I did mention that. Thanks, Geeta, for bringing that up. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.
That's really great, ma'am. Heartiest congratulations once again.
Thank you.
All right, so let's move to our next category now. Marketing Manager of the Year, India. Let's know something about this leader. She is a part of the business development team at the company. She leads the marketing effort, spearheading the company's client reach out. She's been successful in building relationships with multiple magazines and media agencies, both domestic and international. Accomplishing all this in a very short time at the company. And the award goes to Ms. Sakshi Patel, Associate Marketing from PV Diagnostics. Ms. Sakshi, the screen is all yours. Heartiest congratulations to you.
Hello. Yeah. I hope you can see my screen. Thank you so much for this appreciation and recognition. I would like to thank the whole organization for this nomination has been done by my team. Mr. Ayush Mahajan, Pranav Maheshwari, Mr. Prakash Suratkar, and Atul Jain, for which I'm highly, highly appreciative. Everyone has said a lot about how women are facing challenges and everything. Like women has been shown a additional microscope of gender when it comes to workplace. But I'm really grateful in that sense that I haven't been given that microscope in my organization. Thank you so much for that, and thank you so much for this prestigious.
Happiest congratulations, Ms. Sakshi. Once again, I'm sure we have had a lot of telephonic conversations, but I'm glad to see you on a platform now. But before you leave the screen, here's a one question for you. What's one leadership lesson you have learned in your career?
Believe in yourself and don't get ever scared that you might be wrong, because sometimes even if you're thinking you're wrong, you might be right.
Absolutely agree with you. Heartiest congratulations once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let us move to our last award for the afternoon. And the category is Marketing Manager of the Year International. Let us know something about the leader. She is an experienced marketing professional with over 17 years of demonstrated history of working in architecture, engineering, and construction industry. So let us know who the winner is. The winner is Ms. Amber Ryder, Marketing Manager, Stronghold Engineering, Inc. Can we have Ms. Amber on the stage, please?
Hello.
Hello, Ms. Amber.
I just want to take a moment and say thank you to Beverly Bailey and Alyssa Deganji at Stronghold Engineering, who nominated me for this award. I greatly appreciate the passion and the drive that both of those very strong females have within the industry. They've been instrumental in building the business, the Stronghold business, and I think it's incredible to be involved in the engineering and construction of different projects that we have, from solar to general construction. And it's been a humbling experience just being around Beverly and being able to take on some of her experience and some of the lessons that she's learned along the way. So I'm very appreciative of the award, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Miss Amber. Now I see Stronghold has a lot of girl power, right? Okay, so just a small thing. Now there is a saying that there's nothing a man can do that I can't do better and in heels. So can you share any of your experiences that made you push yourself to prove your leadership qualities with your male counterparts?
Sure, absolutely. I've faced adversity anytime I've had to stand next to a man in marketing or in engineering, construction. And it's just proving to yourself that you have the strength, you have the capability, and you have the knowledge to get anything done that you could possibly want to be done. You just have to focus your attention and push forward, push past any of the adversity that could come your way.
Well, that's absolutely very nicely put. Thank you so much, and heartiest congratulations, Ms. Amber, on the great win.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, before we say goodbye to all of you, there's a small quote I would like to share, which is by Indra Nooyi, CEO, PepsiCo. An important attribute of success is to be yourself. Never hide what makes you you and you. So just be yourself is what we'd like to say. And all our solar leaders out here have already proved it, that they've been themselves and reached to ladder top. So with that, we believe that every woman is a leader in herself, be it professional or personal life. We all are multitaskers and can face any challenge. So salute to all the winners and ones watching the show. Always keep your spirit high, ladies, and you go, girl. With this, it's goodbye from all of us. Hope to see you all at our future events.
Thank you, all the participants, and congratulations to our women leaders.